This is stuff you like, and sometimes the sequel is just better than the original. At the very least, sometimes the sequel hits my buttons better than the original ever did. Hi, Helen Parr. I see you. And I love you. Also, apropos of nothing, now you're thinking with portals. I liked The Incredibles. Not enough to ever really want to review it. I didn't feel like I had much to say aside from, that was fun, but I liked it. The thing is, I didn't actually gel with Mr. Incredible all that much. He's big and strong and courageous and also just kind of I've never found Superman boring, but Mr. Incredible I just didn't get on with. But since The Incredibles is something of an ensemble piece, even if he is the main character, it was fine. It was good, even. But The Incredibles 2 is about Helen being heroic, and about Bob learning about wife work, and about the family kicking butt and taking names together. And I love it. The plot of The Incredibles 2 goeth thusly. A very rich industrialist and his inventor sister approach the Parrs and Frozone with a proposition. They want to make superheroes legal again, and that means they need good PR. They choose Helen as their mouthpiece/vigilante hero, and Bob is kinda sore about that, but mostly, please do the thing, Helen, I want to be a superhero again. Meaning she has to go out and do work as a hero advocate, and how convenient, a supervillain, the screenslaver, turns up needing thwarted. But shock horror, turns out the sister is actually the supervillain behind the whole thing. Who saw that coming? Well, I mean me, but I didn't mind. Her plan was to get superheroes made illegal once and for all, because people need to save themselves, gosh darn it. The Incredible family and all the other superheroes who have been hypnotized work together and beat her, and it's all good. The end. Also, Bob learns what his wife does all day, but not in a sneery way. There's a concept that's very popular on Mumsnet's relationship boards, and it's called wifework. This concept is necessary for the next part of the review because The Incredibles 2 has a subplot about wifework, and it's great. Wifework was a term coined by Susan Mousehart in her book, which was also called Wifework, where she argues that 3/4 of divorces are initiated by women and that she thinks wifework is to blame. And what is that? Basically, it's husband management. Has he had enough to eat? Are his children behaving well for him? Is the house tidy so everything's where he needs it to be? As if your husband is a giant toddler incapable of doing his own laundry or cooking. Which, who knows? He may well be. When they talk about wife work and emotional labour on Mumsnet, what they mean is all of that invisible stuff that kind of holds a household together and, indeed, in some cases, kind of holds society together. But the necessity of emotional labour to hold society together is a whole other topic, so let's not go there. So now you're thinking, I need concrete examples, Jill. Okay, dishes, laundry, remembering your kids' birthdays, what class they're in, who their teacher is, when parents' evening is, what day they have football practice, which one of them really hates mushrooms, who needs a birthday card, who needs a Christmas card, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, these things don't actually have to be done by wives, but they are things that have traditionally more been the purview of women. Homemaking, to borrow the American phrase, is like a particularly apt description in this instance. You might be wondering where I'm going here. Okay, so this is relevant because when Bob goes off to work in The Incredibles, Helen is the one doing all of the wife work, including most of the emotional labour surrounding the children. But in the sequel, Bob really wants Helen to go back to work because he really wants to be a hero again. And he really wants their children to be able to choose to be heroes if they want to because, you know, they have superpowers. Those aren't going away. And he wants her to be happy, and that does come across, but he also really envies her. But the reason I actively like Bob's subplot as opposed to the usual man tries to take care of children and discovers actually it's really hard because he's competent. Bob is not a numpty who can't take care of his own kids. Now granted, he doesn't have the depth of knowledge about the boy that Violet likes or how Dash is supposed to do his homework or any of that kind of stuff. And Jack does turn out to have special circumstances which would tax any parent. And he does struggle and we do laugh, but sympathetically, because it's not easy, and we understand that. He wants his wife to do well, and he loves his kids, and he's trying. Mr. Incredible suffering from an enormous sleep deficit is more sympathetic to me than original movie Bob ever was, because dude, I have also been there, and it sucks. The main reason I prefer The Incredibles 2 is that the focus is more on Helen and her out in the world kicking butt, and I like that. I like Helen. I feel more empathy with Helen than I do with Bob. Especially because in the original, yeah, it's nice that you got a job as a superhero robot tester, Bob, but you didn't tell your wife, and that was very much the wrong decision. The Incredibles is very Bob-focused. The Incredibles 2 is very Helen-focused, but it gives Bob a proper, meaty, emotional subplot as well as punching to do. So, I like that. In the sequel, they're all confronting difficult challenges. And even when they're holding things back so as not to worry the other person, Bob, you get the feeling that they're all in it together. The sequel has all of the fun and the humor and the sharpness of the original, but I feel like it just does it all, but better. Some things really do improve with practice. It's a movie that walks the line between acknowledging that things that are worth doing are often difficult, and that sometimes you have to make compromises, and that working together makes you stronger, but doesn't dull down their ability to be amazing in their own right. And it lets everyone be amazing in their own right, as parents or spouses or friends or siblings or whatever. And I really appreciate that. A lot. So it is October, and if you are not a patron, videos are going to be light between now and probably December, because I'm in a play this week, and I'm rehearsing for a musical, which I'm in next year, and I'm also going to be learning the arming sword, and mainly I'm going to be spending all of my video making time on this patron project that I've got coming up. So if you're a patron or a subscriber on YouTube or a follower on the Twitter, then you will know that I recently hit a Patreon goal to make a stage combat video series. Or rather, it's a video series if you're a patron, and if you're not a patron, then at some point it will be one kind of big video culminating in a fight scene, which is going to be choreographed by my fight partner / choreographer. If you're interested in that, you need to go to patreon.com/JillBearup, where if you sign up, then you can see all of my behind the scenes content and extra videos that I make just for patrons, and all of the videos I am making leading up to the stage combat thing. If you can't afford it or you don't want to be a patron right now, that's fine, but you're gonna have to wait until December to see the finished product. I think it's going to be good. There will be videos in October and November, but probably not as many as you would necessarily expect. So that said, leave a comment if there are sequels that you like better than the originals, and I will see you all next time.